Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so it's finally time to paint your main attraction. Your whole background's done, and now it's time. Alright, so many of us will think that it's time to actually paint in this part up here and this part down here and whatnot. But nope, you gotta start back here because this is behind it, and then these will get painted on top. Alright, so again, there's a shadow back here, so I'm gonna paint that part darker. This is a little bit like concrete, so I'm going to actually mix together a little bit of yellow, a little bit of black, and really work from there. Alright, so here I have my color. Now, this is a brush choice time. Is it small enough that you can use a small flat brush, or is it still big enough that you need to use a bigger round brush? This is up to you. For my work, I need to make it be smaller flat. So I'm going to start again just like we always do with blending. I'm going to start with this base color, and then I will add in, and I want to actually make sure, this is something probably new to you guys, to make sure that if I go straight across this building, that I'm aware that that line equals up and that it's not, somehow floating. Alright, so I have this color, and I'm laying it down, and then do a little bit of a shadow over here. That line doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just filling it in. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white to this, and then blend it back. And now, a lot of times the white will get contaminated with other colors. If that happens, just kind of pour more paint on top, and just don't mix it all together. Don't pull the paint from the bottom, pull it from the top. Alright, so here we go. Pretty much have that all together. And I like how that's blended. Now down here, I'm going to have to make it darker again. And so I might even make it a little bit darker than my original color. And to show that that's a shadow. So I'm going to start by outlining it. And there's steps over here. But I'm deciding that for my picture, I think it'll actually look best without the steps. It's okay if you make an artistic decision to not have that part. And I'm going to turn my paper. Again, turn your paper so it's easiest for you. And I'm making a nice straight line. Notice how this is kind of jagged right here. I don't want that to happen. So I want to take, sometimes it requires just taking a little bit of water on your paintbrush to kind of smooth that out. Again, let the flat edge of the paintbrush help you. I'm just going to smooth out that line. Sometimes that paint starts to really dry quickly before you actually have time to smooth it out. Alright, and then again, a highlighty color. So if you notice right now, I'm kind of losing that edge that I have between the top and the bottom, and I actually am going to come in a little bit. I'm going to do a highlight there, like a really strong, very pronounced highlight, so you can actually see. Alright, so there's my blending. Do just a tiny touch over here. Alright. I'm actually kind of okay that there's a little bit of blue in that. Little happy accidents. And now here's that strong highlight. It's almost going to be an outline of a highlight across this whole thing to really show that nice divide. And I'm going to do a little bit more on the right side. A little bit stronger. Alright, so that's that. Then I would start to build the rest of this on top. When you're totally done, so the next thing I would paint would be here, and then on the top. Now, when you're totally ready to go, that's when you get this teeny tiny little brush. You can outline certain details, you can make special things like windows or other stuff in the foreground, but really save the tiny little details for the very end. Paint in the whole thing first. Get a nice base color, a nice blended color on there, and then go back and use the tiny paintbrush. Alright, so those are all our steps. I think you guys are ready.